Hey everyone, it's Kimberly here, and I am in my home this time, not at the church, and longing so much to be in Fort Collins tonight. Fort Collins is having their second, I think it's the second one, Pride March or demonstration in Old Town, and as I said yesterday, I decided not to go. Just because I didn't want to be around so many people and put some of my parishioners at risk. Hi George, hi TJ. um, and so today I am just going to talk to you a little bit about how special this is, that we are able to go to the streets and carry signs that share our pride in our humanity and in who we are, as and in my tradition, as created in God's very image. And I just imagine it's so neat. My image of God has changed so much over the years, from being an old man with a long beard sitting up on a throne up there in heaven saying, I'm going to zap you because you're bad, and you're getting zapped because you're naughty, and you're getting zapped because you're a girl, and you're getting zapped because, well, you like girls and you're a girl, or you like boys and you're a boy, or you have a gender fluidity about you. I'm gonna zap you. Oh, I'm gonna zap you. I'm gonna zap you because you just think differently. I'm gonna zap you because your skin color is not the right color, because Jesus, my son, is white and so am I. All of that crazy nonsense. Wow, I got in over my head there a little bit, didn't I? So that's kind of like the God that I grew up with. In my mind, and then that has changed, and now it's like this. When I think about Imago Dei, which is Latin for image of God, I think about this multifaceted, gorgeous, spectrum. I hate the word. It's not even spectrum. It's just like this. Rainbow is good, but there's only so many colors in a rainbow. It's got everything. God has everything in God's very face. There's everybody in God's face right there. You can look at God and you can see yourself. So I think about that when I think about my friends and many of us who have experienced trauma from religion, whatever the religion was, from the church, because we were not who they said that we were supposed to be, which in my tradition was male, because women, already you got the male and the women are down here, right? And whiteness was also elevated, not so much, I hate to say in my tradition, but there was a lot of Baptist, so we have a richly diverse intercultural, I should say, tradition. But in the United States, all of that was sort of like set up against this idea of white colonialism. And golly, how many people can you lead to Jesus? And how many people can you lead away from Catholicism, for example, which is a Christian tradition, or paganism, or Judaism, or whatever? It was like this crazy, just let's go out there and make disciples, not by loving people and letting them have their path to God, but let's make them like us. And which is difficult, because I don't look like a lot of those people, and I know certainly I'm white, so I got that, but there was no room in that tradition for a God that was straight, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, genderqueer, gender non-binary, gender, all of those things in there, and certainly no place for a God that was Black or Latinx or Asian. It was a very white God. And so I am here to tell you that that is like no longer the God that I like to look up to, because who wants to cuddle up with that kind of God? Who wants to cuddle up with a God that's going to tell you you're going to hell for various reasons? So I am playing the song that I have. Oh, first, let me show you. This right here is a sign that my friend Eli made for me last year for Pride in Fort Collins. And it says, this pastor loves, that's me, I'm the pastor. And there's a lot of pastors out there too. I know I'm not the only one. This pastor loves, affirms, and celebrates you. And I like to include there. A friend of mine actually told me I need to include, right? Because there's so many things that we need to do. But I just love this idea that God has all these flags, there's so many more flags, that God has all these flags up there, and just waving them all and encouraging each person out there, each transgender person, each queer person, each Black transgender person, each Latinx, and each, all of them, just like going, yay! I'm so excited for you because I made you, and I'm so excited to see you living out who you are, and I'm just happy to know you and to get to know you better. I feel like that's the God that I believe in today, and it's quite freeing to move to that place. So what I wanted to play for you is an old song that was used a lot as altar call. And an altar, for you, those of you who do not know what an altar call is, usually it involves, how, realizing what a horrible, wretched person you are. And it's never true, by the way. It's really never true. I mean, like, unless you stir fry baby feet and eat them for breakfast, or something like that, you're not a horribly awful bad person. So but I remember being a kid and going, oh golly, I was addicted to many things. Some of you know, and I'm in recovery, and a lot of you know that. And I got in recovery when I was 16, but like I had this horrible sense of myself, and I remember going to like some church event or Youth for Christ, I think is what it was called, and bless those people. But I would get that guilt thing going in my whole system. Like my whole self was feeling guilty and ashamed because I used the night before, or I slept with someone, or I was doing this, or I was whatever it was that was going on. I always had shame, and shame always came with me to church, and shame always came with me and led me up to the altar when it was time to do that, and singing just as I am without one plea, but that thy blood was shed for me, and that thou bidst me come to thee, O Lamb of God, I come. And it was always tears going down my face, and like somebody, someone take this wretchedness of a human that I am, which was with me. That feeling of wretchedness was with me ever since I was about 5 years old. And I know that it was with some of you that early too. And I would go up to the front, and then someone would like kneel down next to me, and I'd be crying my little self. And then I'd go to the back room where they would like talk to me and pray with me. And well, maybe last time you accepted Jesus Christ into your heart as your personal Lord and Savior, it didn't quite take. So let's try this again. And it was really painful to be singing this, and to know that it was not true that just as I was, I didn't feel like I was okay just as I was. And I know a lot of people from church and religion have experienced that trauma of believing that other people were created in God's image, except I'm not created in God's image. I don't know what image I'm created in. And so that does something to a person when churches perpetuate that, and people perpetuate that constant I'm less than to other people, and so I'm gonna just improvise on this one because it is one of those songs that has stuck deeply within me. It's like deeply embedded in my in the core of myself. And I like to reframe these songs so that I can tell you that it is just as you are, that whatever the God is of your understanding, or higher power, or source of life, or resource, whatever it is, just as you are good with that entity, that spirit, or that love, or that light. That you are, in my tradition, you are indeed created in the image of God, and God delights in you, and God is so excited that we're not all the same. God is so excited that we're even evolving a little bit in our own language about gender. I mean, who knew that there could be something other than being a girl or a boy? Who knew that we could be free from the constraints that binary can chain on us? And who knew that we could go out in the streets and be who we are and celebrate one another? Celebrate. And that's what we need to do, is celebrate each other. My friends, you are created in God's image, and you have God's own breath moving through you, and God delights in you. So let's try this. If you know it and you want to sing along, you can, but I'm probably going to do some funky piano thing with it, just so that I can get in touch with that tension between what the song used to mean and what it really means. And yeah, okay. So we'll see what I come up with. That's it, everyone. This pastor loves and includes and celebrates. And there goes my alarm telling me it's time to go. And I'm just so excited that we all get to walk this journey together as human beings, as LGBTQAI people, as straight people, as people of color, and all the beautiful, intercolorful, intercultural, intergenderal, intersex, orientational that we are. Okay, everyone. Bye, everybody, and happy Pride to Fort Collins. I love you all.